Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Movie Chats with Ant and Rye. Today, we're going to talk about the 2022 movie Mr. Harrigan's Phone, directed by John Lee Hancock, written by him as well, inspired by a novella by Stephen King, and starring Donald Sutherland and Jaden Martell. I think I'm a little bit biased because I'm a big Stephen King fan.
Yep.
And I read the book, and I thought that as far as movie adaptation go, this one was pretty good. When I was reading the book, it was pretty close to what I was
Okay.
imagining.
That's
I thought the
good.
actors
Good to know.
were picked very well. Not that, you know what, sometimes a movie is inspired by a book and they decide to do something else and it works and awesome. It doesn't have to follow a book, but as this one did, it was actually pretty close. And I think they did a good job
Oh,
to
amazing.
picture what was written, at least how I imagined it when I read it.
Because
So yeah.
I'm also a really big Stephen King fan, especially when it comes to his dramas.
Mm,
He's done a few novellas where the short stories have been made into movies. You've got
yeah.
Stand By Me was based on The Body. It's only a
Yeah.
short story. Shawshank Redemption was
Shawshank
based on
Redemption, of course.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Two 5 out of 5 films are my in my thing.
Yeah.
So when I thought, oh, Stephen King novella, yeah, cool. Maybe perhaps because I haven't read the novel myself, maybe my feelings weren't as strong as yours.
Yeah.
I, a few
It's
things might
not
not have been.
Yeah, look, it's not a masterpiece by any means. It's not, if you're talking about just literature and books, it's not the best Stephen King out there. And I agree with you. I like his horror um books, but I think he actually does drama very well and maybe a bit
Yeah.
better. I think one of my favorite books that he wrote is The Green Mile. The movie is
Oh, I
good,
love the Green.
but
The,
yeah,
the book is so much better than the
the
Green
book
Mile,
is so much
isn't?
better.
Yeah. We could talk about that as well. So
We
just
could talk
because
about like, a lot.
yeah, it's been so long since I read that book, but we'll talk about this one. Obviously, it's set in Maine. Stephen King is all of his books are set in Maine. Obviously, Mr. Harrigan, who is a billionaire, wants Craig to read to him because his eyes are failing. Then they become friends over a number of years. They both have their phones. I am obviously I'm trying to maybe because I'm a little bit older than what the characters are supposed to be. So
Yeah.
Craig is an 18-year-old in 2008. In 2008, I was 25, I think. So perhaps it's
Mm.
just that slight technology era that I'm a little bit too old to really understand all these kids with their phones and they'll kind of he'll text his girlfriend
Yeah.
who's 5 feet away, I like your sweater, and she'll text him back saying thanks. Like I never had that. I would
Yeah, true. I mean, I did have that. I mean, I think the first smartphone was released when I was in my 20s, but I did have, like the flip phones, like,
yep.
yeah, so you could text and call. I mean, call was definitely more of a thing than it has been with the, rise of smartphone and emails
Yeah.
and texts. But yeah,
But
yeah, Tress,
this
I see what you mean.
but yeah, or is that before? Like I remember back in like the 90s, we used to have excuse me for my cough, uh like text messages were like 22 cents each. So you were
Yeah,
very
true.
careful. You were very careful about who you text because
Yeah, and the internet is limited as well. It makes that sound to connect.
oh, I
Yeah,
noticed
and you
that
had,
there's
yeah, go
there's
for
one
it.
part where Craig's going online, and there's a little sign up on the wall saying internet
Yeah.
is limited to 10 minutes per person, unless it's quiet or something like that.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. Where you were a kid and you wanted to talk to your friends, then you had to call their landline and you had to talk to their parents first as well. That was a big moment of
Oh,
stress.
I, s- I would not be able to remember any of their phone numbers now, but I used to use dial it off by heart, and it's like, hey, it's me, and it's straight away you know who it is. Um,
Cool. All right. Should we go into the let's go into the movie. I'm gonna start with something
yep,
that I really liked. I think the acting is brilliant. I think they chose the actors very well. Donald
yep,
Sutherland and Jaden Martell really have a lot of chemistry. I totally believe that there is this friendship that develops
yeah.
between this old guy and this young guy, and they respect each other. And he takes a bit of a liking to him because he's very humble. Um, I totally buy that, and I thought the
Yeah.
actors really sold it very well.
Did the novel go into why they developed the friendship so much? Because it really, I think I glossed over it a little bit. It seemed that Harrigan only
Yeah,
really chose Craig because he could read and he had a
well,
good
it's
reading speaking
yeah, it's
voice.
it's a good point. They gloss over it in the book. They take a bit more of the time that Craig is uh, when he knows how to read, even if he doesn't fully understand, he reads when he's very young, like 6 or something like that, and is the pastor or the priest makes him read the sermons in church, and this is where Mr. Harrigan sees him and say, "Well, this is interesting. He reads very well, and he's a kid." And he goes to his dad and say, "Well, can you read to me?" And that's how it starts, and their friendship is a bit more how he teaches Mr. Harrigan to use his phone, especially with the finance, and then the discussion about why is all this information available for free? Where is that going? And he predicts a bit of the future of social
Yeah,
media and ads, and it's a bit more dwelled upon and a bit better developed in the book because I think
gotcha.
it's more internal monologue dialogue. Yeah, so I
That
had
makes
this
sense. Yeah.
background, so it didn't like bother me. But yeah, if you just see the movie, maybe you feel that there is a little bit of something that is missing in there.
Yeah, I did feel I I assumed that that was just something that would have been more developed in the book. That it was just a
Yeah.
little bit rushed. You know, Harrigan, he doesn't get his phone until like the 30-minute mark or something like that, and
Mm,
then he dies at the 45-minute mark. So there's only a short
yeah.
period of time where he's got that phone where that's kind of, yeah, this technology thing is this is good. I like this, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
It's just I wondered
Yeah.
how that would.
I think in the book they bond a lot more over the phone because the relationship is more because Mr. Harrigan is an older person. He's the one teaching the
Yeah,
kids about life if you want it, but there is this imbalance of he's an adult and he's a kid, so he's learning a lot more from the adult than the other way around. But Craig comes with the technology and shows him, well, this is how it works and this is the advantages, etc., etc. So it reverses a little bit of the balance in their relationship that Craig is actually teaching him something as well. And it's very well done in the book up to when Mr. Harrigan actually dies.
right. That makes sense. Um, what was I going to say? One thing I didn't like so much was the pacing. I thought there was
Mm,
a couple of moments which bothered me a little bit. There was a part at 30 minutes ago. It almost had a bit of a air brackets finishing up feel, and then five
yeah.
minutes later, Mrs. Hart's character is killed in the car crash,
Mm,
and then the killer goes free, and it felt like an arc that should have been put earlier into the film. You've got
yeah.
this pretty big event happening 25 minutes ago in the film, and it's just like I I wanted that to be sooner so we could
Yeah.
have Craig really, oh my God, this is what I'm asking Mr. Harrigan to do through the phone is actually coming true. And then he
Yeah.
could have kind of just abandoned that. I felt like that was just very rushed, and I didn't care for that.
Yeah, it's true. Such a shame because it's a good element of the story. In the book, I think it happens a lot later. And I understand why they didn't do that in the movie because I don't think that they wanted to change the actor or use some aging technology or makeup or anything. But it happens when Craig's actually quite a bit older and he's got his first job and he's a
Oh,
journalist. So it takes a bit
right.
more of its time to do that and it doesn't feel as rushed because it's true. When I was watching the movie, so I knew about okay, there is Kenny's death, and then I knew that there was something else, and I was looking at the time run, and it's is that gonna happen? Like, what's what's happening? The movie is wrapping up, but yeah, yeah, I understand. I take that point around the pacing as well.
Yeah. Um, I think there's a couple of films of Stephen King's novel, excuse me, that they just they don't film well, and I
Yeah.
think this might be one of them.
Mm,
Nothing against it; it's not a bad film, but look at Dreamcatcher, look at The Shining. They just they didn't film very well. I'm sure, like I've read The Shining years ago. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure I've read Dreamcatcher. I've definitely seen the movie Dreamcatcher, which is just I,
it's
I don't
horrible.
a terrible film. I
It's a
just didn't
terrible
understand.
movie.
Um, but yeah, just he's done such bangers, and then well, it's his work, but other people have kind of adapted it, so
Yeah,
it's a shame.
it's a shame,
Mm.
and that's the problem as well. To come back to my point, where move like books are adapted into movies, you need to understand that this is a different medium,
Yeah,
and sometimes a book is going to land very well to be very closely adapted. I think this one did and did okay. I actually think that maybe the issue is the source material itself. It is an interesting book to read by Stephen King. Is it his best? No, not by a wide mile.
yeah,
But if you're adapting The Shining, Stanley Kubrick really changed so much because the medium is different and he wanted to communicate something else to the point that Stephen King hates this movie,
yeah,
which is a shame because it's a very good movie.
yeah.
Um,
I've recently reviewed it. As a movie, it's good, but if it's you're comparing it to the book, different. Yeah,
it's
absolutely different.
completely different. And even it, the last adaptation of it that they did, the two movies, I actually think are somehow better than the books, but they took liberties to change a few things because I
There's
really
things that
yeah, didn't care for
you
it
can't.
as a book. It's not that great.
There you go.
It has
Oh,
to
there
be
you go.
said.
Um,
um,
the only other thing I've got a few like little kind of just silly nitpickies. I'm not probably won't even go into it. Just like the part where the gardener, obviously, when Craig's investigating the gardener and he goes to the house, and that's where he killed himself. And there's a big sign, FUH, on the door. No one can figure out what it means. I'm sorry.
really?
Really, really, you can't work that one out.
Yeah,
Um,
it's true. True. Um,
I love the Kenny character was. I liked the Kenny character, even though he was just so gross. He played that
mm,
role so well.
yeah, he did.
I think that actor is actually in it must it was like a Disney Nickelodeon kind of thing where he plays the exact same type of character where he's picking on somebody and he's like the rich kid and who can get away with everything. And I thought it was actually this for a second, but
Mm,
I'd have to Google it to find out what it was. But yeah, he did a great job. I liked him.
yeah, no, this movie is cast very well. Um, Something else that I actually really like is the dialogues. It's very, sorry, it was very well written. It's very nice to listen to and the way that they interact, and it feels very natural as well. Um, and I like they kept the
And
last line from the book as well. Like,
cool.
but I'm
Well, there you
sure
go.
I do not want to be buried. I want to be buried with empty pockets. I like that.
Yeah,
I think it wraps it up pretty good.
that was really good. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good coming of age. Not as good as other ones, but yeah, I
No,
liked it.
it's funny because I was reading some reviews and a lot of people criticized the movie because it was sold as a horror movie, and it's not really. You have fantastical themes, but it's more of a coming of age story. And
Yeah,
if you're going
that's what
in
I.
there, yeah, if you're going in there thinking that you're going to be scared or you're going to have jump scares or it's going to be gory, it's not the movie for you. And I think a lot of people got disappointed
Yeah,
with that, especially when you branded Stephen King and horror. I think a lot of people were expecting something else.
I definitely didn't read it as watch it as a horror. It was a very modern Stand By Me esque.
Yeah,
It's with a teenage, but just it's a stamp, but different kind of obviously different things happen, but
yeah.
it's about a teenage boy. So
Mm,
that's how I went into it. But
it's
yeah,
good.
other than that, I think I've exhausted everything I want to talk about. How about yourself? Is there anything?
Yeah, just a question for you. If you had
Okay.
the phone and you could call Mr. Harrigan, will you use it? And on who?
Oh, oh, yeah. No, skip. No, I wouldn't. Let's let them
You're a good
be.
guy.
I'm a good guy.
Good stuff.
Uh,
Let's go into a score.
yeah, go on. Yourself first. This is your choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Um, I liked it. I think it was a good adaptation of the book. I really like the acting. I think it was nicely shot. I really like the dialogues. It's this kind of movie that you go into and gives you a bit of a cozy feeling watching it, and I enjoy that. It's not a masterpiece, but I would recommend it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3. I quite liked it. I'm not going to sit here and rave over it, but I'm not going to pardon my French shit on it either. I thought it was an okay film. It was not sensational, but it was not a fail. So I recommend as well.
Nice. Well, thank you for listening, and we talk to you next week. And as usual, please follow, comment, like, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.